I'm Heather Fisher, former England rugby player, Olympian combat medalist. What you see is what you get with me. But you do have to step into a greater version of yourself when you go and play for your country. We see the podiums, the medals, we see all the emotion, but we probably don't always see the person.
We were put together so that I could work with Heather to tell her story, to give her power and to give her agency. We went on a journey, like a mini road trip, to parts of her life, to places that were significant to her. It doesn't matter at this point if this photo is completely rubbish. It's just doing it and getting used to it.
You're very photogenic.
This is the beginning of a journey, so by the end of this journey, you will be in control and you'll know exactly what you want and you'll know how to do it.
I walked in here and I burst into tears, like, one of the toughest times of my career in terms of like losing my hair, my identity, then having a back brace on.
Yeah.
A plaster cast, like strapped in.
I think I've lived in a clown suit
yeah.
because, and this is no one's fault, but when you play, you're a performer.
We will make the portrait together. There'll be an element of self-portraiture, there'll be an element of collaboration.
Everybody should be having a camera to tell their own story. It isn't about the picture. It's about the journey you've been on to create the picture.
I think the end portrait hopefully will be powerful and positive. So I think we will be playful in this space.
Not weird at all.
No, you're not weird at all.
That represents me just coming out of my shadow, me coming out into like the world, not being afraid of who I am.
Yeah.
But this process has definitely allowed me to open up and be myself and see myself through a lens that I never thought I could or would be.
There was like a click went on and it was like, I can make this portrait.
That's it.
And I think, you know, I can feel your emotions quite strongly and you just had this sort of power. It really excites me when we properly start to collaborate. But what I love about this is that you've used your camera, you've directed me, you know exactly what you want.
Creating the environment for someone to feel comfortable enough to go on their journey comes from creating a safe space. And I felt fully trusting of the team around me, but I was also not afraid to be vulnerable.
Visible but invisible.
Yeah.
So how do you create that? I think my back needs to be turned because for a large portion of my life I've turned my back to the world, like quite a lot. I'm very shut off, like leave me alone, go away. I started to reflect, like when I'm with you, I'm learning from you, right? So it's like understanding what you're seeing, what you're doing, and then I'm going, oh, okay, so I can do the same, but over here, and actually I can show this part of me, which is the real part. Whereas always in the past, you look at something, you go, it's not real, it's not true. You've taken all the context out of it, whereas I feel like this experience has added the context into where I'm at.
So with this one, Carolyn, I want to be able to look for the spotlight because I feel like in this photo, I feel like where I am right now and what I'm wearing and what I'm doing is like looking towards the future.
It worked really well, didn't it? Because it was like you were in control of your own image. It wasn't like I was just taking a picture of you. You were totally empowered.
And you listened.
But yeah, thank you.
It's been awesome.
I didn't see taking a picture as an art or a craft, and I didn't see it as telling a story. And now, since working with Nikon, I've really seen that you can really establish a story. You can create your own journey, you can create your own storyboard. And that's effectively what we did. And that's really, really cool. The ones you've selected for today, right? They better be good. They better be good, Carolyn. Now we're stood here now in real time. I actually feel quite nervous. How did you select them?
Because they make me feel something. So I always select pictures that I think are powerful emotionally, and I felt that they represent you.
Wow. The reason we've done this is to impact and to show that other people too can pick up a camera and to show their life or what they've gone through the lens of a camera, right? I never thought that was possible. In a way, I was hoping you'd get them wrong, so I didn't have to connect with them. I look like I've got my stuff together, right? And actually underneath it all, the images that Carolyn showed is, I'm so raw and so vulnerable. And I've always been that, but this has really exposed me in terms of, it surprised me how emotional it was.
Then there's your pictures, which will be how you see yourself. You're at the
That's quite cool.
centre of telling your own story rather than it being told for you.
But everyone should have that opportunity. Imagine this picture just on like a massive billboard somewhere. All of a sudden you've got a female that you'd probably question the gender of from that picture, and that you'd question the hair. But we're making people think differently and open their minds.
It's really important that photography goes beyond just taking a beautiful picture. And I think this shows that you can give somebody the opportunity to take hold of their own story, to be part of their own story, and for it to be represented in a powerful, visual way.
The experience has allowed me to discover who I am, discover the journey I've been on. It's allowed me to understand and start to accept. So it's really personally played a massive part in the transition of life that I never thought would exist, right?
I'm really proud to be associated with a brand that is looking at pushing boundaries, looking at telling stories in different ways, looking at representing people that aren't represented. And I think this is a really good example of that.
One picture can tell a story. I think that's the way I would like to define working with Nikon and Carolyn. The pictures that she's taken have defined my journey, full stop.